during winter, coffin cold season. They take that nest, they dip it in water, all the ants freak out when they hit the water, and then they'd actually release lots of formic acid into the water. Then they drink it like bush cordial, lemon flavoured, and it relieves coughs and colds, would you believe? So formic acid helps relieve those chest problems in the cool weather. So there's a bit of a bush cure for your cold season. Doesn't cure colds, of course, but it relieves the symptoms. Dynamite fishing before. It's a bit of a segue, isn't it? So going dynamite fishing, you need 5 things. You need a stick of dynamite, an explosive. You need a detonator to make it go bang. Box of matches to light your fuse. Water hole with fish in it is pretty important too. And the most important element is a really, really, really stupid person. Fishing techniques varied, of course. They'd actually spear their fish sometimes. They'd net them. Out along our coastline to the east here, they'd actually build up walls of stones along parts of the beaches, and then the tide would rise over the wall and strain the fish behind. So it's a very basic fish trap, but quite effective. But fishing in the wetlands here today, where we are at the moment, they actually would use another technique, which was better than dynamite, would you believe? And one of those favoured techniques was this tree behind me here. You can see. It's called the jaguar. Lovely dark green foliage, pinnate leaves on a stem. And then away they go down to the billabong. And of course, the billabong, if you're not sure, is actually a water hole. Here we go. So down at the billabong, rubbing up the leaves. Okay, that'll do, thank you. So this technique was quite eco-friendly, just took the oxygen out, but it didn't taint the water like the vine derived mangrove did. Okay.
This little place here went recently for 1.6. Don't know about this blue place. I don't think anyone wants to live in a smokehouse. But basically all the blocks of land along here are what is worth the money. The scowl. Box jellyfish being one of the largest jellyfish out there with really long tentacles, up to 5 metres some of them, right? To what's called the irriganji, which is the size of my little fingernail, and both pack a punch. Box jellyfish, try and imagine someone pouring boiling hot oil over your body. Yeah, that's what it feels like, and then some. I've been hit by one. We're going to head on up to the township of Proserpine to the Proserpine Museum, where we're going to get a bit of culture and see a fantastic little museum that's put together by many volunteers throughout the Whitsundays and our local historical society.
a group of goats. And what happened was that the goats used to go up onto the side of the hill with their little goat herder named Airlie, and they would love to eat the wee shoots and cherries of these little trees. And of course, a coffee cherry, which is the fruit of the coffee tree, is very sweet. So they love to eat these lovely little cherries. They're about the size of the lady's thumbnail. Think of a wee tiny nectarine. But of course, after eating the cherries, what's inside the fruit are two big fat coffee beans that lie flat side by side together. And it takes up nearly the whole of the fruit. So they'd eat the cherry and then spit out the beans. But after they did that, of course, they'd be jumping about all over the place and had all the more energy, just like you will be tonight on board. And what happened was that the little goat herder took the story back to the nearby village. And it was the monks that thought, oh, well, we'll go and investigate this. So just like the goats, they ate the shoots of the trees. Oh, it's a bit of a leaf, really. But then, of course, they ate the cherries. And just like the goats, they thought there's nothing in it. It's just the skin, gelatinous-like fruit, and big fat beans. So, of course, they would cut and pass them out into the fire. Hello, that lovely roasting aroma that we can all smell because of our lovely freshly roasted coffee is what made them go, oh, could be something a bit more to this. So they dragged and raked them back out of the fire, ate them, thought, oh, far too crunchy to be too edible. Then they thought, why don't we grind it up and use it through water? They did that, of course finished up with a brown little tonic, which they then drank, and just like the goats, had a lot more energy. They were certainly more alert, and it kept them awake during their long midnight hours of prayer. And that, folks, is the very first documented historic story of how coffee was very first discovered in the 11th century.
how you going? My name's Gordon. Welcome to Australian Muster Experience. As you can see out here, we have lots of fun every day and always something different. We do a general show and of course there's quad bike tours and horse rides.
The first Europeans came ashore here around 160 years ago. They came into these giant forests and they cut the cedar trees. Cedar was worth a lot of money. So they worked hard, cut the giant trees, hauled them with bullocks, floated them downstream.